They feel they are free from any restraint of the Constitution, treaties, courts, legislation, or anything else. And that lies behind what appear to be an ad hoc series of violations of the Constitution ever since. Look it up.
Thank you.
Brief closing comments from each of our panelists.
Yeah, so we are just winding up. I just wanted to encourage everybody. I know that you've heard a lot tonight, and oftentimes when I go to events like this, I feel scared, I feel concerned, I feel like I don't know what to do. And just remember that every single panelist here tonight gave you options on ways that you can take action. I know that I had some sign-up sheets that were circulating around. There's, I guess, some more back there. If you want to get involved in local coalitions here in the Bay Area that are working on the NDAA, drones, other issues, then please sign up. Also, AB 351 still going through Congress, and I guess the last thing I would say is, never stop educating yourself and don't stop educating other people. Take everything that you learned here tonight and share it with those around you. That is the only way that we are going to see any change, is if we have an educated populace, something that we are severely lacking right now. And I say that as one of those young people who sometimes feels disaffected.
I realized that I threw a ball into the air, and I didn't really pursue it. When I said that I feel actually more hope now, thanks to Snowden, than I have for a long time. And it's for this reason. I started out, I did say, Manning revealed torture. The fact is that that didn't raise a movement. People didn't respond to it. It's torture of other people over there, that sort of thing. Civilian casualties, which he showed, 20,000 more than had ever been reported over there. And various things that have come up like that. So the American people, like other humans, are unfortunately not that concerned about what is done to people over there, other people, especially when their leaders tell them that it's necessary for their safety. The thing that strikes me about Snowden's revelations is it affects us, you, everybody. And the fact is, it occurs to me that even though something like half the country may feel that it's all right for the government to be having all this information on them, about half the country doesn't feel that. A lot more than care about what happens to other people over there. So I think we have, teachable, actually a moment that we could possibly draw on to get people concerned that they themselves are being oppressed in their daily lives by this amount of information. And the question of Constitution, I think, is raised by this, as it almost never is, actually. Waging a war against Articles 1, Section 8, it should be a major constitutional crisis, but it hasn't been. But the Fourth Amendment, I understand there's going to be a march, for example, on July 4th, restore the Fourth Amendment, which has to do with privacy. Again, look it up. I won't quote to you what is the Fourth Amendment. But one piece of history here, when I mentioned the Church Committee of 1975, an amazing forecast the Church made. It was the first investigation of the NSA. And what I want to say is, unless we somehow bring the National Security Agency under some kind of democratic control, and not by the Feinsteins, and not by those people who are simply co-opted by the process. Here's the prediction that Church made, which I'm afraid, which is a challenge to us. In '75, he was on Meet the Press, and he said the results of his first and only real investigation of NSA, and he didn't use the words, because they were secret. The existence of NSA was basically a secret then. So he just said, our intelligence agencies. No such, they used to say NSA stood for no such agency. And that was true. People didn't know. Okay, say, America's intelligence gathering capability at any time could be turned around on the American people. And no American would have any privacy left. Such is the capability to monitor everything. This is Church in '75. Telephone conversations, telegrams, it doesn't matter. Notice how anachronistic that is. There was no fax, there were no personal computers, no email to intercept, none of this other stuff. They have it all now. There would be no place to hide if this government ever became a tyrant, if a dictator ever took charge in this country. The technological capacity that the intelligence community, NSA, has given the government could enable it to impose total tyranny. And there would be no way to fight back, because the most careful effort to combine together in resistance to the government, no matter how privately it was done, is within the reach of the government to know and to deal with. Such is the capability of this technology. One last paragraph. I don't want to see, said Church, this country ever go over that bridge. I know the capacity that there is to make tyranny total in America. And we must see to it that the NSA and all agencies that possess this technology operate within the law, not the secret laws that Obama's talking about, and under proper supervision, not the intelligence community, so that we may never cross over that abyss. That is the abyss from which there is no return. We are in that abyss right now. And the question is, was Church right or wrong in saying that there is no return from it? Was he right or wrong in saying that democracy is impossible so long as we live in that abyss? I think on that point, over the long period, he was right. Is there a return? That's the question we have to find out. And I wish I had a clear answer to give you, but that's our challenge.
Brief closing remarks.
Yes, so I think it is fitting that I had selected, since I am a poetician, I had selected a poem called Wake Up in response to what Ellsberg said, if it was possible. I have seen signs, the end of the world as we know it has begun. It might look terrifying on the surface, but inside every human being, a choice. A choice to act out of love or act out of fear. Earth is calling, sky is calling, creation is calling, humanity is calling. Wake up. Wake up now. Generate the capacity for compassion in your heart. Now is the time to yield to the call of growth, to the call of action. You are the change makers, sleepers of all ages. Wake up. Wake up now.
Whether or not you spoke tonight, you are part of this forum. And whether or not you believe it, you will help create the kind of future we have and those after us have, whether through omission or commission. And part of the challenges we face is always to hitch our idealism, if you will, our spirits to the practicalities, what we sometimes call the nuts and bolts. And on the latter note, if you haven't filled out that half sheet so we can stay in touch, please do pass them to the center aisle. Anna has a basket here, she can pick them up. And also, in closing, I want to mention that, like a healthy forest with a healthy ecology, social movements have a lot of different aspects. So we do a lot of different activities. One of them does involve electoral work. I believe the most effective is to be building capacity to re-elect people under threat if we want to, or defeat them and put somebody we believe represents us or can or will in their place. And so on that note, since we're in the East Bay, I want to close by sharing with you a statement that I obtained today by calling the office of the representative of this East Bay area, Barbara Lee. She released this statement. Quote, I voted against the Patriot Act, the overly broad law that the administration is using to justify this surveillance for this reason. The right to privacy in this country is non-negotiable. We have a system of checks and balances in place to protect our most basic civil liberties, and while I believe that national security is paramount, we must move forward in a way that does not sacrifice our American values and freedoms. Unquote, a statement issued by Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Now, I would say good news is that she issued this statement. There are a couple of bits of not so good news. Nearly a week after the revelations broke, courtesy of the great heroic patriot Edward Snowden, this is the only statement that Congresswoman Barbara Lee has issued on the subject, and I think it could be said she may well be the best member of Congress today. So she needs your help, if you're a constituent, to tell her thank you very much. You just got started. We need a lot more from you, and we need it now. And let me mention that in the Bay Area and around the country, this is one of the best, one of the only statements of this sort made by any member of Congress. So we need, wherever you live in the Bay Area and wherever people are living in the country, to demand that we have representation to defend and support the Bill of Rights instead of the silences, the lethal silences, and worse, that we get from members of Congress.
So I have a closing remark. It's in follow-up to what Birgitta said, which is stay conscious. Just stay conscious. The fact that 500 of us turned out tonight is evidence that there's a shakeup going on. Just stay conscious and stay in touch with each other. So I think that concludes our event.